The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank my friend from Pennsylvania for yielding. And I rise in support of the underlying legislation that we're trying to bring to the floor, which, if we defeat the previous question, would actually come up to confront a major problem facing families. If you look over the last few weeks, this Congress has done a lot of things. It's spent a lot of money. There's a bill just 2 weeks ago to raise over $4.5 trillion in taxes and new spending, which would fuel inflation even higher. What families across America are telling us is, why doesn't Congress work for those families who are struggling? Why doesn't Congress work to confront the challenges they're facing every single day? Seems like this majority is tone deaf to the real problems that are hurting families today. It's inflation. It's the spending in Washington that's driving that inflation. And one of those leading indicators is the high price of gasoline, because it's something that maybe multiple times a week for families, they have to go fill up their car, and they pay over $150 to do it, and they can't afford it. And so we have a bill to actually do something about that, something we haven't seen on this floor for weeks. A bill to actually confront a crisis that was created by this president, which unfortunately there are crises after crises that have been created by President Biden. One of those is an energy crisis, self-created by President Biden. When he walked in the door, prices were 40 to 60% less for gasoline. When you go to the grocery store, everything's more expensive. If you're shopping for Christmas, things are more expensive, if you can even find those gifts that you want to put under the tree. And so here we bring a bill, if we're able to defeat this previous question, to confront one of these challenges. And that's how this president has abused the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Because the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is not supposed to be a piggy bank to cover up for the failed policies of the Biden administration. Yet that's what they've done. When you saw the president raid Spro the other day, we actually had an increase in prices because people recognize this president isn't serious about addressing the problem. This bill by Republican leader McMorris Rodgers of Energy and Commerce Committee, as well as Fred Upton, myself, and others, would force the Department of Interior and Energy to confront this crisis. And by the way, when President Biden goes and begs OPEC and Russia to produce more oil, how about we start here at home, where we've actually got a surplus? We were exporting oil to our friends all around the world, helping our friends geopolitically. And that was undermined when President Biden cut off the Keystone Pipeline, cut off production on federal lands. But he green-lighted the Russian pipeline. He begged OPEC to produce more oil, which, by the way, emits more carbon, if that's what you're concerned about. Mr. Speaker, why don't we focus on those things that will help American jobs and help lower carbon emissions? That's producing more American energy. And you know what else it does? It lowers the price of gasoline. I urge rejection of the previous question, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Reserve. The gentleman reserves. The gentleman